Welcome to Oaxaca, a land of color, culture, and tradition. Nestled in southern Mexico, this diverse state is a tapestry of rugged mountains, sun-soaked coastlines, and ancient ruins. It's a place where centuries-old customs thrive, from the rich flavors of mole and tayudas to the artistry of woven textiles and hand-carved alebrijes. Oaxaca isn't just a destination, it's an experience, one that lingers in your heart long after you've left. Join us as we dive into this unforgettable corner of Mexico. The mountain roads ahead are steep, winding, and high altitude, so buckle up and let's roam. Some roads don't simply exist on a map. They live in your mind, calling to you in your sleep, filling your thoughts at work. The Pan American Highway, a road spanning the length of North and South America, a 30,000-kilometer road trip through more than 15 countries, is that road for us. Life to us is nothing more than a collection of moments, and we want to fill our moments with adventure. So for 18 months, we'll be driving south from Tuctayacta, Canada, all the way to Ushuaia, Argentina. From the Arctic to the Andes, through deserts, jungles, and the unknown, we'll live and wander in our self-built adventure-mobile, seeking stories, chasing landscapes, and redefining what it means to us to be modern-day explorers. This is our journey. It's the kind of place that lingers in your soul, a legend whispered long after you've gone, a pin on the map that tugs at your heart when you're far away. A riverside haven near the town of Jacatepec felt like a story we could have stayed lost in forever. Days drifted by in a haze of warmth, where time seemed to slow just enough for us to savor it. And when night fell, the cool air wrapped around us, carrying a stillness that settled gently over the valley, a quiet we never wanted to leave.
Yeah?
See.
What is it?
This is a potato, beef, and egg, onion and egg hash, and with cotija cheese on top. And this is a crisp and refreshing celery, jicama, and cabbage salad.
Wow. Delicious.
Delicious. See.
So we have been camped here for the last 2 full days. This will be our 3rd night here. We're in Oaxaca, just inside the border. And tomorrow we're going to be hitting the road and heading further into Oaxaca to kind of check out the mountains, spend a little bit of time hunting for cool places within the mountains, and then eventually we'll make our way to the coast, meet up again with James and Bryony, and do some adventures and stuff.
Adventures and stuff.
Adventures and stuff.
Millions of small towns in Oaxaca.
Yeah, it seems endless. And we've been told so much about Oaxaca. Everyone loves it, so we're super stoked.
Yeah.
One last hot morning, one last foray into the perfect water, one last glimpse of paradise before we depart.
Well, to our dismay, and
We don't want to leave.
yeah, we don't want to leave this spot, but it's time to go. We've been here 3 days. It's been so good. That water is perfect,
Yeah.
but it's time to head further into Oaxaca.
Yeah.
So let's do it, baby. Yeah. Woo!
I have to admit, there's something notably different about Oaxaca. Perhaps it's just the region, or maybe I'm still riding the high of being in such a good camp spot, but I can't help but notice that the towns seem a little brighter, a little more colorful, and the people seem somehow happier. And the jungle here is lush. Either way, we like it here a lot already, and we're very excited to see what's up ahead.
Oh, sweet, sweet paradise. Oh, muchas gracias. That's the good stuff right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it good? That's the stuff? What is it?
Tepache.
Oh.
That was awesome. Those two ladies were so sweet. I got a watermelon, a pineapple, and we got a frozen pineapple juice and a tepache, which is fermented beverage with pineapple peel and core and Mexican sugar.
So as we wander through Oaxaca, the temperature is definitely climbing, and these little fruit stops are just becoming total godsends because oh, hola! I love the people out here so much. They're so cool. Oh. Oh man, we love this country.
Yeah.
Eventually, after following the river for a few more kilometers, we crossed over, leaving the water-enriched jungle behind in exchange for high-altitude pine forests, cool air, and the kind of steep grades Betty loves to remind us are not her favorite.
Feels like 39. It is stinking hot. Wow.
Oh, you see that? 2,000 RPM, 20 kilometers an hour. How high are we, love?
9,400 feet.
We went right from sea level.
All the way up to 10,000 feet. It's cool. Yeah.
I'm not sure what we expected as we turned into the mountains, but somehow climbing right from sea level to 10,000 feet was not something we foresaw. As the road continued to wind up the mountainside, our progress slowed to a crawl, just before reaching the peak and beginning our descent. We had scoped out a camp spot ahead of time that promised a quiet and cool night's sleep, but we were in for a bit of a surprise when we arrived there, something that hasn't happened to us since entering Mexico, or possibly ever.
Now, this is a cool spot. You gotta agree. Well, we were unpacked and at camp for all of 15 minutes before three guys appeared out of nowhere and told us that we need permission to be here. So I guess we are still hunting for a camp spot.
Yeah, first time in Mexico that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, they were super nice about it. It's not like they were like, get off our land, but yeah, we have to go find another spot. Shoot.
So we're approaching a bit of a switchy. Looks like there's a road.
This is the most promising spot we've seen.
There's a cord.
There's a cable there. So we've been driving around for the past hour now, trying to find a spot, and It seems like the folks in this area are actively attempting to discourage people from camping in the forest, which I think it's probably a fire thing because it's pretty tinder dry here.
Trash.
And a trash thing, yeah. But yeah, we have struck out on so many places, and it's just getting to the point where we're like, do we drive all the way to Oaxaca City at this point?
No.
I don't know. This is like the first time that we've really had a lot of trouble finding a spot. I mean,
Just this past week.
yeah, past week.
Everything else has been easy. We went down another road, and yet again, there's nowhere to camp. So we're gonna go to a trailhead and hope that there's a level spot for us to camp at the trailhead and then do the little trail tomorrow morning in this beautiful area.
Well, Google and All Trails did us dirty. Once again, there is no trail here, as far as we can tell. So, we are heading back up to like just a flat spot that we found along the road.
I think that might have been the trail.
Yeah, we're heading all the way back up. We came down a long ways to get to here. We can't seem to get off the struggle bus. It's just been like a whole week of not being able to find camp spots.
Except for the last one, which
Except for
was
the last one.
paradise.
It's true.
We got a 3-day respite from the trials and tribulations.
Yeah, but I'm done with the trials and tribulations. I want freedom! Freedom! It's got a beautiful sunset. Yeah, it's pretty. It's real pretty.
Yeah.
Well, this is us for the night. There is the road. And that is camp.
We drove 11 kilometers down this road to reach this spot. We figured there had to be somewhere within this vast wilderness that we could park our van for the night. When you gamble on the existence of a spot when looking to camp somewhere, the result can be anything. We've had pretty decent luck in the past, and this spot just happened to be another really good roll of the dice.
Well, after a long and arduous day of being denied campgrounds, camp spots, we have a delicious meal to eat. And luckily, Meg picked up a rotisserie chicken, and we got some instant mashed potatoes, some broccoli. It's gonna be delicious.
Delicious.
Except for maybe the Mexican mashed potatoes, because
Questionable.
we've tasted them already, and they're they taste a little funny, but yeah, whatever.
Some places in this world feel undeniably special, as if the land itself holds a quiet kind of magic. Sometimes that feeling is obvious, painted across the landscape in bold strokes, towering peaks, endless horizons, or vibrant colors that demand your attention. But other times it's something softer, a presence you can't quite put your finger on, yet you know it's there. I think we may have found one of those places atop this mountain. There's a weight to the air, a stillness that seems to settle in your chest. Something feels different here, unmistakable, yet impossible to define. You could drive through this forest without a second glance, unaware of what you're passing by. But step out of your vehicle, let the silence take hold, and you'll feel it. That quiet hum, like the mountain itself is breathing, whispering its secrets to anyone patient enough to listen.
Well, last night was another kind of sort of rough night. Apparently the difficulty in sleeping applies to 10,000 feet as well as 13,000 feet. When we arrived here last night, got settled in, and then Meg looked at the elevation. We're actually sitting just below 10,000 feet. I think it's like 99.88 or something like that. And yeah, like we woke up with just like short of breath last night, and it's kind of characteristic of being at elevation. Aside from that, this place is super peaceful. It's so pretty up here. It's wild just the fact that like that paved road exists up here in the mountains at 10,000 feet. Like it's nobody's business. We're gonna go hike to a mirador that's over there this morning, and then we're gonna head down the mountains a little bit further in search of another spot and some cool things to see. Meg was yelling at me while I was recording that little video, and that's because this squirt exploded in our fridge.
So now he has to drink pop in the morning. Too bad.
Elevation. What the heck?
A short walk into the forest, we learned that we had actually stumbled upon an old ecotourism park. It was built atop this mountain and along an old pack mule route that the indigenous inhabitants used to access the many towns throughout the mountains. The distance we had driven on the road to get here was only 11 kilometers of a 44-kilometer stretch of winding road to get to a string of tiny towns located further east. It's incredible realizing how far out some of these remote communities exist.
These forests are so cool.
This tree that they have gated out.
Yeah.
El árbol milenario.
It's white oak.
About to say I don't want to go.
The temperature's so nice.
I love it here.
The scenery's so nice. The clouds. Oh man, it's so cool up here.
Break out the town.
At times, it felt as though we had stepped into the pages of a Tolkien book, a world where the trees seemed older than memory itself. The high-altitude forest stood quiet and watchful, its twisted branches arching overhead like gnarled fingers entwined in forgotten stories. Moss clung thick to the bark, and fallen logs lay draped in emerald cloaks, as if the earth had tried to pull them back into its embrace. The air was cool and heavy, carrying a scent of damp earth and pine, a fragrance that felt ancient, as if it had lingered here for centuries. It was easy to imagine unseen eyes peering from the shadows or forgotten paths winding deeper into the woods. where secrets long buried were still whispered in the wind. Our hike complete, it was time to descend a little further down the mountain. There was the promise of flowing water somewhere along our route, and we were keen to investigate. If you're enjoying this film and want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like. It's a free and easy way to help our videos make it to a wider audience.
Ladies, people. We're turning here.
That's an old church with a basketball court. Pretty cool. Yet again, the lengths we will go for a camp spot. Get that right, babe.
That's what life's all about, babe.
Yeah.
What else are we gonna do? This little slice of paradise.
Yeah, it's a heck of a lot colder than anything we've experienced.
Yeah, it seems like it would be cold.
That's nice.
There wasn't much information to be found about this old stone bridge that we had found just up the road from our spot on the river, but it looks to have served a now old and dilapidated set of switchbacks that join the two towns on either side of the river canyon.
I think I should go.
Don't even think about it. Was it fun?
I would have liked doing it with the transfer case more. That would have been better.
This was to be the start of another blissful 2 days of utter seclusion. This spot was just far enough down the hill that we remained out of sight and far enough away that no one really came down here. So for the 3 full days we sat beside the river and enjoyed some alone time.
Okay, this is wild. What a tasty looking meal. Tell us about it, babe.
I made those
I used the leftover potatoes to make like crispy breaded potato croquet things. And then we're having the rest of the rotisserie chicken and a salad.
Amazing.
And some flatbread maybe.
Absolutely amazing.
You can see fireflies. This is something we definitely don't really have in Canada at all. Super cool.
Well, it's come time to finally leave this spot. We've been here for
3 days?
3 days, and it's been absolutely delightful. Hot, sunny, windy, water. All of the markers of an excellent camp spot. We're on our way to Oaxaca now to go see James and Bryony, and we're going to spend a few days with them exploring some towns in Oaxaca and eating some delicious food and drinking some delicious drinks. Mezcal. Yeah. So, yeah, we got to get out of this spot first, so that's going to be fun. Let's go.
A short and hot climb later, we'd emerged from our secluded river valley. It was promising to be a sweaty day of driving more mountain switchbacks until eventually we found our way all the way down to Oaxaca City.
Train?
No, it's just a walking bridge.
Oh, cool. Train and walking bridge. We're on a detour. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, this is ridiculously steep.
That's the highway down there.
Our fuel mileage average while going through the mountains has dropped to 9 miles per gallon. Which is no bueno.
Must be loud in there. Sounds good. Just like,
Look at this old piece of artwork. Ah, beautiful. Old square body Chevy. Oh yeah. Well, the parking spots in Oaxaca are extremely small and tight. Not great for big rigs, especially like that one right there that's behind us. Hey, James.
all right, we're back now.
B? We need a B, B, B.
Yes, we do. I'm gonna just go full turn.
Crazy. Brian is stopping traffic out there. It's amazing.
Giganticus Maximus Meridius. Oh my gosh.
And so began our exploration of Oaxaca City. First impressions, simply stunning.
This is what you know. What up?
Yeah, we're getting them donuts. We
The
got
goods.
the treats, we got the goods. This looks so delicious. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh, there's so much Venetian cream in there.
Oaxaca City, the capital of the Mexican state of Oaxaca, is a vibrant cultural hub known for its rich indigenous heritage, colorful colonial architecture, and exceptional cuisine. It's famous for its lively markets, mole dishes, and mezcal production. The city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, celebrated for landmarks like the stunning Santo Domingo Church, the bustling Zocalo Square, and the nearby Monte Alban archaeological site. Oaxaca is also known for its vibrant festivals, particularly Dia de los Muertos and the Guelaguetza.
These are medicinal herbs.
Yeah.
This one is for diabetes. This one is for your prostate. And this one is for reflux.
So you need all three then, eh? Is that how it
Trying to
works?
say, bro.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It looked like you're the customer for this one.
The artistic scene thrives with traditional crafts like alebrijas, fantastical wooden carvings, and intricate textiles. It's a perfect spot for food, lovers, culture seekers, and anyone drawn to authentic Mexican traditions. I think it's safe to say that we all immediately fell in love with Oaxaca City, so much so that it possibly rivals our love for Mexico City. Comparing the two is like comparing apples to oranges, and both are magical in their own right. But Oaxaca City has that little something that made us warm up to it real quick. Camp for the next 2 nights would be at the seemingly famous Rancho RV Park. We'd use this spot as a place to push off from for another day in the city.
So today we are heading into Oaxaca City with our friends Bryony and James, and we're going in their Monster Tundra, which is going to be fun because they have air conditioning and we don't.
Big tires. He is a local fella.
That's awesome.
I got a beet and carrot juice con un poco de limón, and I'm super stoked.
Betabel y poco limón. Gracias.
Wow, it's so good. I'm gonna get one.
Today's lunch would be teudas. They are a traditional Oaxacan dish, often referred to as Mexican pizza due to their large, crispy tortilla base. They feature a thin, slightly crunchy corn tortilla that's typically grilled or toasted, then topped with a layer of refried beans, Oaxacan cheese, avocado, salsa, and meat, such as tasajo, chorizo, or tocino. Following lunch, we wandered through the various markets located in the city center, getting a feel for the cultural flair, perusing the various stalls, and getting close up and personal with the endless traditional textiles.
You could pull it off when you're there. Sure. Oh, yeah.
Eventually, as a cherry on the cake, we wandered our way into Templo de Santo Domingo de Guzman. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is a stunning Baroque church and former monastery with a rich history dating back to the late 16th century. Construction began in 1575 under the Dominican order and continued for over 200 years. The temple served as both a place of worship and a defensive stronghold during conflicts. Its elaborate interior is renowned for intricate gold leaf designs, ornate carvings, and detailed stucco work. One of the most impressive features is the family tree of Saint Dominic, a breathtaking ceiling mural depicting the lineage of the Dominican order. And during Mexico's reform period in the 19th century, the monastery was repurposed as a military barracks. It was later restored and now houses Museo de las Culturas de Oaxaca, showcasing the region's rich cultural heritage. It's apparent that as the sun falls behind the western Oaxacan mountains, the city comes alive and a vibrant nightlife emerges. Suddenly, there were bands playing music and people dancing in the street. But it had been a long day of walking in the hot Mexican sun, and we are by no means night owls, so our day on the streets was quickly coming to a close. James and Bryony delivered us safely back to our campground for the night, and the next day we'd be heading back into the mountains. But that is a story for next time.
Go, Bryony! Push!
That's awesome.
I read a story about a coal fire.
Hey there, Goliath!
Thank you.
Show us those muscles!
That was so heavy.
In short, Oaxaca has already lived up to the hype and more, and we've barely seen anything. Ahead of us lies the mountains, and then the Pacific coast. Thank you for being here along with us on this journey. We hope that our stories and experiences inspire and encourage you to get out there into the big, beautiful world that surrounds you in pursuit of your next big adventure so you can form long-lasting memories. Until the next one, keep on roaming. If you would like to see behind-the-scenes content, get route and camp spot information, or if you'd just like to help support us by putting some gas in our tank each month, you can contribute on Patreon. And before you go, don't forget to check out slowroamers.com to get yourself some rad Slow Roamers merch.